What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Christopher Manyweather here with Deadstock Barbershop. For those of you who do not know me, I make videos to help you take your career the furthest in the shortest amount of time. Jumping straight into this video, we're going to do a light fade with a taper and a blow dry style. He's not getting anything off the top, so we're just going to blend everything in. So this is a number 2 with our red FX from Barbers. The number 2 is equivalent to a 6mm for those of you who are overseas in the UK, where people typically go by the millimeters more so than the guard number. So we're just gonna ride that number 2 straight up off of the head. We're not gonna follow the shape of the head because we want this hair to layer in as we cut. Doing so will give us that square masculine shape that we're looking for. Now we are going to wet the hair, making sure that we get all the areas that we're going to cut fully saturated and covered in water. After that, I like to comb the hair through because it'll make sure that I'm dispersing the water thoroughly throughout his hair. And once we're done getting all the water through his hair, we're going to begin our scissor work. As you can see, I'm pulling that hair straight out from where it grows naturally, and I'm cutting straight up, starting from the shortest point, cutting off anything that's longer. That is my guideline. So I'm pulling it out and I'm cutting everything above that short length. What this is doing is layering the hair. Pulling the hair out directly from where it goes and cutting it at a 90-degree angle creates layers. So it's going to give us the natural blend that we're looking for. I'm going to follow this technique all the way around his head. Then I'm going to reverse the action and come back the opposite direction, which will be cross-checking. Anything that I miss, any hairs that got left behind, I'm able to catch them on my second way around. So once I complete this area, there'll still be a dark line because there's a difference between my scissor work and my clipper work. So right here, you'll see me cleaning that area up, blending it in. And just to polish it up a little more, I'll go in with my 6.5-inch blending scissors from Mizutani and clean it on up. Following the same steps that we did on the right and the back, we're going to do it on the left side, pulling that hair out at a 90-degree angle and just making sure that we can get it as blended as possible. And then we clean it up with the scissors. Anything that's hanging over will be taken off, and then we'll polish that up with the blending shears. And now we can proceed with the fade. This first guideline that we're putting in now is a master's all the way open, or 2.4mm, which is the equivalent to a number 1 blade. Setting this guideline in just like any other drop fade we normally do. We're going to do it all the way around on both sides, connecting it to the back. Next up is our bald line. We'll set that in with our trimmers. Whatever trimmer you prefer, or balding clipper, whatever your choice is, that's what you can set it in with. And I'm going to put this in at a nice arc, making sure that it's even on both sides. And as you guys know, I like to do a combo cutting system. So we start that off with our Barbers red FX, and the system's going to be closed, quarter, halfway, open. And each time we're going to close it up, and we're going to go up about 1/4 inch. You want to make sure that each guideline that you set is going to be smooth and evenly all the way throughout. Don't go up until that first guideline is taken out. So now we should be halfway open, just taking that line up. After that, we'll open it up all the way, and we should be done with these clippers after that. This is all the way open. And you can see some dark spots down there, so I'm pretty sure I'll close it up a little bit like that right there, and I'll just kind of clean it up as much as I can. All right, and keeping in mind, we started this cut off by opening the clippers all the way up. So right now we're just gonna go halfway, quarter, then close. By going halfway, quarter, then close, of course, we're working our way down in the system. So what that's gonna do is make sure that we catch anything that was left behind the red FX. This is the equivalent of cross-checking your work. So what I'm doing now, I'm just gonna open and close the lever. Depending on what I see, I'm gonna go in and take it out. I see that area is just a little bit darker, and I want to lighten it up. So now we're ready to do the edge up on this side since we're already over here. And we're gonna make sure that we're hitting that line, keeping it in a natural position while making it crisp and clean. And after we go from one side, we do the same thing on the other side, making it nice and sharp. Look at the way that that fade is popping once we throw that line on it. And one thing I like to do is once I get done with this side, I'll spin and look at the other side because I want to make sure that both of those lines are proportionate. I don't want one line longer than the other. And you want to verify, looks good, and now we can go on. So now we're going to set in our guideline for the taper on this side. Sticking with the same system, we're going to make sure that we close it, go quarter way, halfway, and open it up. Working our way up the fade, and with the masters, we'll work our way back down the fade. As you can see, it doesn't take much to blend in on the side. The hair is definitely less dense on the sides than it is on the back. Same thing on the right, close, quarter, halfway, open. And the reason that we do the same steps on both sides is because we're looking for symmetry. We want our haircuts to be as consistent and symmetrical as possible. Switching over to the masters now, there really wasn't a whole lot of work to do just because we were able to fade most of it out, but I'm just looking for dark spots in that fade on this side before I go to the guard. Adding on our number one guard, which is equivalent to a 3mm, we're going to close it all the way up, then we'll open it all the way up and go halfway. Setting in this first guideline, just working our way up about a ½ inch. Now we got it open all the way, making sure that the moving blade is actually touching that dark area, alternating between the two. So right here, I'm not just setting in guidelines, I'm actually blending out the dark area as I go along. So you'll see me opening and closing that lever. So next up, you'll see me do what some people like to call trigger play. So I'm not specifically setting in a guideline, but I'm actually looking for the dark spots and any lines. And the difference in how I attack this section is there's going to be times where I'm close, there's times when I'm quarter, there's times when I'm halfway, and I'm just going as needed. So this portion will be specifically up to you and the details on what you're working on. In the same way I just attacked the fade with that 0 guard, I'm gonna do the same thing with the number 1. So now I'm just in detail mode and I'm using my corners and I'm just getting in there anywhere that looks way darker than the rest. I just wanna lighten it up. And I'm gonna follow that up with the number 2 guard, just going up a little higher than the section I just was with my 1 all the way open. And this should be the highest as we go. As you can see, everything I'm doing now is just corner work. And now we can move on to the next section. We're gonna edge up over the ear, get it nice and crispy, using the corner of our blade, put it in that arcing motion, hitting the C cup. We start at the top of it and we just curve it on around, making sure that it's crispy as possible. So now that we're done with that, we can move to the back and we're gonna do those same steps over that we just did on the right side with the number 1 guard closed first. Switching back to the 0 guard and we're gonna detail. A lot of corner work, checking for dark spots. Here's our number 2, and it's the same thing. And I'll be back when we get to the clipper over comb portion. So I'm using clipper over comb just so I can square off the sides. One thing that you'll notice is I do have my guard on. The reason I left the guard on is because the bigger the guard, the softer the edge on it. If you were to use anything like a 3/0 out or a 5/0, you'll notice that the edge will be a lot sharper. So in preparation for his blow dry style, we're gonna get all the product in his hair. This is Johnny B molding paste, and I'm just working it through, getting it nice and evenly distributed through his head. So since he's gonna be wearing his hair straight back, I like to start in the back by blow drying that area nice and flat, getting it laying down. So for the sake of time, I'm only gonna show you guys one side of this blow dry style. If you guys like to see a full blow dry style, I have another video I'll put up. Click on the card in the top right hand corner of the screen and you can watch that video right after this one. So as you can see, I'm keeping the blow dryer close to the head. I want it to be flat. I don't want to have too much height except for in the front, where you can see that I'm twisting my wrist to add volume in the front of the hair, but I want it flat in the back. Just following that shape, getting it in there. I really like this product from Johnny B. It gives a nice hold. Just in case you guys forgot what he looked like, here's the before. As barbers, we don't control who walks into our shops, but with a thorough consultation and a proper execution, they can leave out looking like this. Thank you so much for watching this video. If any of it was valuable to you, be sure to like and share. For more videos like this, please subscribe and click on my playlist titled Tutorials. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Thanks and God bless.